Money doesn't flow to the smartest person in the room. It flows to the person others want to give it to. That might sound manipulative, but it's psychology. Human beings are wired to reward certain behaviors with trust, attention, and eventually, payment. Entrepreneurs who seem to print money aren't lucky. They're just better at triggering those instincts. Here are 6 weird habits that make people want to give you money, often without realizing why. You respond absurdly fast. Most people reply to messages when they have time. Successful entrepreneurs reply right now. They treat communication speed as a signal of competence. When a client sends an email and you respond in 5 minutes, they subconsciously think, this person is sharp, organized, and on top of things. Even if your answer is short, the effect is powerful. You become the most reliable person in their inbox. Psychologically, this taps into what behavioral scientists call response trust, the idea that humans equate immediacy with reliability. In a world where everyone else is busy, the person who answers instantly feels like the only adult in the room. That feeling is priceless. Over weeks and months, it compounds into 6- and 7-figure contracts because people will move heaven and earth to keep working with the one human who never makes them wait. You underpromise and overdeliver like it's a religion. Average people inflate deadlines and results to sound impressive. The wealthy do the opposite. They sandbag expectations on purpose and then smash them. They say, I'll have it to you by Friday, when they already know it'll land Tuesday night with extra bonuses attached. That gap between what someone braced for and what they actually receive creates pure, unfiltered delight. Delight is the single strongest predictor of willingness to pay premium prices and send referrals. Behavioral economics calls this the peak end rule, combined with a positive expectation violation. One perfect over-delivery is worth 10 mediocre on-time deliveries. People don't remember the spec sheet. They remember how you made them feel when reality turned out better than the promise. You talk about money like it's the most boring topic on earth. Most people get nervous, start justifying, discounting, or throwing in extras the moment price comes up. The people money chases state their fee the same way they'd state tomorrow's weather. It's $60,000, half today, half on completion. No apology, no upside-down smile, no, I know that sounds like a lot, calm, flat, matter of fact. That tone does something almost magical. It makes the number feel inevitable. The brain registers unflinching confidence as proof of value. Hesitation triggers haggling instincts. Boredom triggers acceptance. Within weeks of adopting this one habit, people routinely stop negotiating entirely and just ask, where do I send the wire? You disappear at the exact moment excitement peaks. Right after the best call, the signed contract, or the standing ovation, average people keep talking, keep selling, keep chasing validation. The masters send the next step or the invoice and then vanish for 24 to 72 hours. No follow-ups, no memes, no just checking in texts. That strategic absence at maximum emotional temperature is devastatingly effective. The brain hates open loops. It floods the vacuum with anticipatory dopamine. By the time you resurface, the client has mentally rehearsed how amazing the outcome will be a dozen times. They're more committed than if you had chased them for a month. Scarcity plus peak emotion is the fastest way to turn interested into obsessed and ready to pay anything. You give away your absolute best stuff for free, on purpose and often in public. While everyone else guards their secret sauce for paying clients only, you drop the exact strategy that could be sold for 6 figures in a random tweet, voice note, or coffee chat. Most people think this is insane. It's actually the highest ROI marketing move in existence. When someone receives something so valuable they feel almost guilty, the psychological principle of reciprocity kicks into overdrive. The fastest, cleanest way to restore emotional balance is to pay you, usually far more than you would have dared charge. I've seen people give away a framework worth millions and receive 7-figure thank you wires days later with notes that say, "Name your price. I don't even want to negotiate." Extreme generosity at that level isn't charity. It's the most sophisticated sales technique ever invented. You make people feel briefly stupid, then instantly brilliant. The broke try to one-up everyone and look smarter. The wealthy ask one innocent-sounding question or make one casual observation that reveals the other person has been thinking 10 times too small. Cool, why grow to 10,000 email subscribers when 100,000 is almost the same work? 2 seconds of feeling behind, followed by an immediate rush of clarity and possibility. That microdose of humility followed by a massive cognitive upgrade is addictive. The brain tags you as the rare person who expands reality. People will bankrupt themselves to stay close to someone who consistently hands them bigger, clearer visions of their own future. It's not about flexing intellect. It's about delivering repeated moments that feel like personal growth on steroids. These 6 habits feel weird, almost wrong, because they directly contradict everything we were taught about being professional, humble, and fair. Schools rewarded patience, obedience, and playing by the rules. The market rewards something completely different: emotional impact. Start practicing even 1 or 2 of these, and something bizarre happens. Opportunities stop being chased and start chasing you. Price resistance evaporates. People thank you for letting them pay you. Invoices get paid early and rounded up. Random strangers send deposits for things you haven't even offered yet. That's not manipulation. That's alignment. Money is emotional before it's mathematical. It flows toward the person who speaks the silent language of trust, desire, scarcity, and delight better than anyone else in the room. Master these triggers and the game stops feeling like work. It starts feeling like people are begging to give you money, and you're kind enough to let them. And here's the part most people never understand. None of these habits require talent, connections, or a special personality. They're entirely behavioral. They're learned. Anyone can practice them, but almost no one does, because they feel uncomfortable at first. You have to override years of conditioning that taught you to shrink, explain, justify, overtalk, undercharge, apologize, or blend in. These habits force you to do the opposite. They make you stand out. They make people remember you in a world where everyone is forgettable. And once people remember you, they start expecting you to be valuable. That expectation alone shifts your entire positioning in their mind. What makes these habits so powerful is that none of them rely on logic. So when you master these habits, the speed, the over-delivery, the calm pricing, the strategic absence, the generosity, the perspective expansion, you start operating in a completely different economic universe. People begin competing for your time. Demand exceeds supply. Prices go up effortlessly. Clients stick around for years. Referrals explode. You stop chasing customers and start filtering them. You stop selling and start selecting. This is the point where money stops being a struggle and starts being a byproduct of how you move through the world. At that stage, your reputation becomes your engine. Your behavior becomes your brand. Your presence becomes your marketing. You don't need tactics or funnels or scripts. You just need to keep being the person whose habits trigger the right emotional responses in the people around you. That's why it feels like the wealthy operate by different rules. They do. Their habits create outcomes that seem unfair until you understand the psychology beneath them. These behaviors feel strange at first, but once you see how people respond, they become second nature. You stop overthinking. You stop doubting. You start trusting the process. And slowly, almost silently, money starts flowing your direction with less resistance than you ever imagined. Not because you manipulated anyone, but because you finally aligned with the emotional patterns that govern human decision-making. Master the habits, master the feelings they create, and you master the game.